Ever heard about Belle Gibson, the wellness influencer?
Yeah, vaguely. Wasn't she the one who...
Built an empire on a lie.
Oh, right. That's her.
Exactly. So we're going to totally deep dive into her story today.
Okay, cool.
We've got this super interesting article, the apple cider vinegar scam story.
Catchy title.
I know, right? And it pulls info from all these places. Entertainment Weekly, Forbes, even mentions Netflix is making a series about her.
Wow, that's wild.
Totally. But what I think is really fascinating is how this whole thing isn't just some random internet drama.
Right. It's got to be bigger than that.
It totally is. It makes you think about the whole influencer thing. You know, those quick fixes, wellness promises, and how easy it is for misinformation to spread.
Yeah, especially online.
Okay, so picture this. It's like the early days of Instagram, right? Influencers are just starting to pop up. And you've got Belle Gibson with this crazy story. She's saying she beat brain cancer.
With diet and natural remedies.
Yep. Think about it. Back then, that was revolutionary.
Totally. People were craving simple solutions for these really complex problems.
And she just offered that, hope and control when everyone's terrified of getting sick.
Exactly. Plus, she had that whole girl boss entrepreneur thing going on.
Oh, yeah. She had the app, the book deal. Even Apple was on board. It's textbook booming wellness movement.
And it's not just about being healthy. It's deeper.
How so?
It's this idea that you can outsmart something as scary as cancer just by making the right choices.
I get it. It makes you feel like you have some power. But, like we all know now, things weren't what they seemed.
Not even close.
There were these two journalists, right? From The Age, a paper down in Melbourne.
Yeah, they started digging into her story.
And what did they find? A whole bunch of inconsistencies.
Lots of red flags. First off, those charity donations she promised.
Poof, gone.
Exactly. And there was zero proof she ever even had cancer in the first place.
And then get this. When they confront her, she gives all these different stories.
It's almost comical how contradictory it is. In one interview, she admits she made the whole thing up. Then in another, she's claiming a misdiagnosis, which is it.
It's pick a lane, right. But I guess it shows how powerful confirmation bias is. People already believed in those natural remedies.
So her story just fit right in, whether it was true or not.
I bet her followers were floored. Talk about whiplash.
The backlash was huge.
App gone, book deal gone, and then the lawsuits started coming in.
Well, she did get hit with a pretty massive fine, $410,000 for misleading people, especially those vulnerable cancer patients.
And you think that'd be the end of it, but no. She spends years dodging those fines. Even had the government raiding her house.
Sounds like the Fire Festival of Wellness. All this hype, but the reality, not so glamorous.
And then, to top it all off, her case gets labeled abandoned by the federal court.
Which is pretty unusual. Leaves her in this legal limbo, right?
Yeah. But it also brings up a really important question. How do we hold these influencers accountable?
Yeah, especially when they're giving health advice.
Is a fine enough?
It feels a little weak considering the potential harm. And what about the platforms they're using?
Shouldn't they be responsible for the content too?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge mess. No easy answers.
It's complicated. It really makes you think.
This whole story actually reminded me of this one time I almost fell for one of those miracle weight loss things.
Oh, yeah.
It was all over Instagram, endorsed by people I thought I could trust. Thank goodness I did some research before I actually bought anything. But it was a close call.
And that's the thing, right? You're scrolling, you see this post, it's all exciting, and if it plays on your insecurities...
You're hooked.
Exactly.
So what was the biggest shocker for you in this whole Belle Gibson saga? Have you ever fallen for one of those too good to be true wellness claims?
What surprised me most is that this is not unique. We see this all the time. Misinformation spreading online about health, politics, everything.
Ugh. Yeah, it's scary how fast it can spread.
It's a real problem.
It's we have to constantly be on guard, question everything we read, see, hear, especially when it comes to our health.
Absolutely. Being a little cynical can actually be a good thing.
True. But this story also shows how much we crave hope and connection, which is fine. We just have to be careful not to let that make us ignore the truth.
That's a good way to put it.
Thanks for diving into this with me.
This was a good one.
Don't forget to keep those critical thinking skills sharp, everyone.